Hello, friends. We are back with another episode of Turn the Paige podcast. I am your host, Paige, and it is so nice to be back here with you on this brisk day. Yes, winter weather is starting to really slide in to the Midwest here, and I cannot say that I'm happy about it. But as we do with all things, we are just going to go with the flow as we freeze our ass off. But today I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys about a few different things that kind of like coincide with each other. And those things being, number one is retrogrades that are currently happening in the astrological atmosphere and how those may be affecting us at this point in time. And I wanted to chat with you guys a little bit about my rebrand of my salon. And so you catch that, like that re syllable there in front of both of those words. Well, when we are in a retrograde period, specifically Mercury retrograde, and Mercury is our planet of communication. It's our planet of processing, the way that we think, technology. And so, as you have probably heard all of the lore around Mercury retrograde, it's like, this is the time you want to back up your computer. This is the time that you don't want to make any rash decisions. You don't want to spend any like significant amounts of money or start any massive projects. Listen, I don't buy into all of the BS. Now, can you use this time and this energy as it is intended and it's empowered? Absolutely. Does it mean that if you do any of those things while Mercury is in retrograde, shit's going to hit the fan? No, not necessarily. But I do recommend you back up your computer. Now, what I like to look at in a Mercury retrograde is not necessarily making rash choices, making impulsive decisions or purposes. And so back to that re-syllable, we want to review, revisit, and just really allow ourselves to reintegrate the values in which we choose to live by. And so what does that do for us? What can that do for us, or how can that look? It's like being very intentional with our time, our money, being very hyper aware of our thoughts, not allowing ourselves to revisit old patterns by participating in them, but by observing them. You know, when that ex slides back into your text messages, you want to revisit whether or not that relationship is in alignment with your highest good, not just slide back into old patterns because it feels safe and comfortable. And while we're in Mercury retrograde, it's a really sticky time for communication. And now that's going to show up in people's lives in different ways. Maybe it's communication in your social media and you end up losing all of your drafts, not putting that out into the universe. Nobody wants that. Okay. I'm just using it as an example. Or maybe it's that you're having a lot of really sticky conversations with your partner, and maybe those are things that need to be revisited so that you can move forward in a more empowered way and direction. So you want to be very mindful of the way that you're communicating with others and the way that you're communicating with yourself. Yeah, yourself. The way that you are communicating with yourself is also important. And so you just want to be very self-aware of whether or not you are reacting to situations or you are responding to situations. Mercury retrograde is about the response and it's empowered, and it's about the reaction in its shadow. Now, it doesn't mean that those reactions won't happen, even if you are aware. And it doesn't mean that those reactions don't have anything to teach you or show you if you lean into them. Everything is a teacher in this life. And Mercury retrograde, when that planet slows down its rotation, it's not actually moving backwards. It just looks like it is. But that rotation slows down. It's meant for us to slow down too. It's meant for us to kind of revisit and realign ourselves with our highest good. And this Mercury retrograde is currently happening in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is all about the authentic truth, the freedom to be and express and integrate everything that you dream and desire into fruition. And so, again, it's a lot of looking at your dreams. It's a lot of looking at your desires, your manifestations, and really realigning those with the intention in which you choose to live. Realigning those with the highest good for all, not just to serve the purpose of your ego. Okay? We ain't got time for that. So, like I said, you want to make sure that you're continuously realigning, revisiting, focusing on the response versus the reaction. And the more you get to know yourself in this realm and the way that you communicate and the way in which you take steps every single day to keep yourself in alignment with your highest good, you're going to become more and more in tune with your intuition. Our intuition is going to be more heightened at this time. It's just whether or not we slow down enough to listen to it fully, to attain that clarity that's needed so that we can take courageous action. And so this is that space and time that we are going to want to be doing that. We are going to want to slow ourselves down so that we can really focus on all of that realignment, that review, and really too celebrating where it is that you were last year and where it is that you are now. And being able to look at that and understand and see how far you have grown and how far you have changed. How much closer are you to achieving your dreams right now than you were a year ago? Honor that, because maybe you haven't experienced a whole lot of forward momentum, but a lot of clarity has dropped in. That is still a win. That is still a win. This year has not been one for forward momentum. This has been a year of staying still and releasing and letting go of all of the shit that no longer served us. And so as we have done that, it's not been comfortable. It's not been comfortable. And if you're like me and you're a person who is used to do, go, pursue, push, it's been even more sticky. And now being here in this Mercury retrograde, which Mercury retrogrades are an extremely potent time for me personally because my chart is ruled by Mercury, because Mercury rules the sign of Virgo. So any of my Virgo placements out there that are listening, this is going to be a very potent time for you. And you're probably going to feel the effects of this, Virgos, Geminis, a little bit more than others may feel. And that's because this is directly connected to your chart and your personal placements. And I know I'm speaking a lot of like astrology lingo here, but as always, if you have any questions, please feel free to DM me or reach out for a reading. How fun would that be in this time of, I don't know, just like revamping the direction in which we are headed. So as we are in this time of Mercury retrograde. And as we are in this place of really trying to revisit and realign ourselves with the truth of who we are and the dreams that we wish to pursue and the desires that we have, we want to make sure that we are giving ourselves the space and the time to process, because the more we give our space and the time to process, we will be able to respond much easier than we will react. And what I have learned from that just in my life over time is that I have to take the moments within my day to ground myself so that I can process whatever it is that I need to process, even if that means I'm just setting the intention for how I wish to spend my day. It doesn't mean that I have to spend an hour journaling out every single negative thought that I have. It just has to mean that I'm giving myself the space and the time to be like, okay, no matter what, at the end of the day, I am choosing to feel joyful. I am choosing to feel grounded. I am choosing to process versus project my emotions. And if there is something that I need to address within myself, that God will guide me to that, and that I will be given the clarity needed to understand it. And yes, does that mean that I still journal? Absolutely. But it's really good to be able to get those things out of our bodies so that those projections and those reactions are less and less and less. Because at this point in time, they might not be very productive if they are coming out in a more aggressive way from an astrological standpoint. Because what happens when we react and project from an aggressive standpoint? We end up in an exchange of negativity, because whoever it is we may be communicating with, whether it's ourselves, whether it's within a larger situation, whether it's a person, whether it's our work, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what it is. The other party participating could get defensive. Yeah. Egos start to play with each other. And when you have ego and defensiveness and all of that sticky energy coming up within the conversation, yes, it may unearth a lot that needed to be addressed. It just may not do it in the healthiest way. It may not do it in the most productive of ways. And so you do you. This is just your local astrologer giving you some insight into this energy. And as well as Mercury being in retrograde, Jupiter, our planet of luck and expansion and optimism, and also the ruler of Sagittarius, is in retrograde, has just begun its retrograde in Cancer. So, all my Cancers, look alive, okay? This placement, this transit, Jupiter being in Cancer, has been an opportunity for growth, for so much beautiful growth and magnetism and luck. But like I told my daughter, who is a Cancer sun, this is going to be a time period for her specifically, because Jupiter is in Cancer for 12 years, but it's only going to be very specific to her chart for a shorter period of time. What she focuses on will expand. If her energy, her aura is bogged down with negativity, then that is only going to expand. It's going to block her from being able to receive the gifts and the blessings that this transit wants to give her, because she's dimming her light by holding on to things that are no longer serving her, or she's playing small, or she's focusing too significantly on the things that aren't going right instead of the things that the things that are going wrong versus the things that are going right. Because what we give our attention to grows, correct? Correct. Yeah. What energy we put out into the universe expands, and significantly in the area of life of wherever Cancer hits in your chart. And so Jupiter going into retrograde again is giving us that opportunity to realign that, to revisit what brings you joy, to revisit what it is that you want to actually expand, and that optimism and that excitement and that growth and those belief systems that you have around what you deserve. Okay? What you believe you deserve, because that's what it is. When you focus on the negative, when you are so convinced that life is out to get you and you're playing the martyr, Cancer in its shadow, then that is only going to keep you stuck and stagnant. So what is Jupiter doing right now? It's saying, hey, let's clear all of this stagnant energy. Let's clean out all of this stagnant energy that is no longer serving us and keeping us stuck and hidden and small, so that then when this energy ramps up again, we are able to do it with clarity and all of the exuberant joy that Jupiter has to offer, and really focusing on those belief systems, of what it is that we believe. And Mercury retrograde is also going to be playing a factor in that, because again, it's in Sagittarius, and that's all about our belief systems. And so revisiting and reevaluating your belief systems and what you feel you deserve and the dreams that you desire to create. See how this is all coming together here? Okay, so this is our astrology lesson. And now we're going to talk about how this has been playing out in my life, because let me tell you, it's been kind of exciting. The last month, I feel like I was coming on here and just like, guys, things have been a shit show. Guys, things have been hard. Guys, things have been a little cattywampus. But guess what? I'm here to tell you that even though there is still a lot of changes happening, I feel so good about the direction in which they are moving. And so, as I have been re-evaluating my business, okay, we got that in there, that syllable, reevaluating my business and focusing on this rebrand, so many things have come up. Excitement, joy. I feel myself just like lit up from the inside out. But then there's also moments that I feel very fearful, or that doubt wants to creep in. Luckily, I've had awareness around it, and have been like actually been guided to some books and meditations and stuff that have like really helped me navigate that in the awareness of it, and how I can just help myself to move through it without so much stickiness. But that's going to happen. You know, the more that our light grows, imagine a tree. A tree is going to grow and grow and grow and grow and grow. And so this rebrand, this business is like my new baby tree. And, it's kind of been a stump for a while. I don't know. I've been doing hair for 16 years. And so that tree has grown and it has flourished, but it just never really grew very large, or as large as I envisioned, because what happened is I poured everything into my business for the sake of making money. And not that I didn't do it out of service. I did do it out of service because I love my clientele and I love what I do. And I'm naturally gifted at this art. But it was something that like I had to do for survival. It was something that I had to do for survival. And luckily enough, I was good at it. Okay. So positives there. But I got to a point to where I poured so much in and poured so much in and poured so much in without maintaining boundaries, without really like allowing my business to evolve with me as I've changed so much over the last 5 years. I have watched as my business and myself and that energy has begun to grow stagnant. It's begun to feel very hard and very sticky, especially over the last couple of years. And my clients have noticed that. My clients have known that. A lot of them have been afraid that like, oh, you're just going to like up and quit doing hair one day. And honestly, there were moments where I thought so. Because again, like I planted this tree and had this really flourishing business, from the time that I was 17 years old. And, it grew and grew and grew and felt so good. And I was, just like really in it. Like I said, it was like, oh, this was my path of survival, and this is something I'm good at, and this is something that I'm going to do and pursue for my life. Okay, here we are. And then it got to like this point, and I started to change significantly. I started to evolve significantly. And so here I am over here, like growing and evolving and expanding and trying to figure out exactly who I am and what I want and all of these new things, astrology, holistic health, and changing the way that I choose to live my life. And yet my hair business just stayed here. And so every time I was like coming back down to do this work, it was feeling out of alignment with who I am now, with this creation of this person and all of these experiences that I have been through. And it that felt sticky, that felt hard. And again, was leading more and more to this burnout. And, really, in my opinion, my clients may say elsewise, but in my opinion, started to create a lack of quality in the services that I was able to offer, because I was having to like, ugh, pull myself down to do this work because I was doing it in a way that was no longer in alignment with who I truly am. And so come August, life rolls in with a nice karate chop and is like, hey, your salon as you know it is going to close. And you have to figure out a new way to work, a new way to survive, a new way to appreciate what it is that you do. And like I said, there had been years previously that I have thought, especially again in the last 5, as my life has changed and evolved so significantly, am I even meant to be doing hair anymore? Is there something else that I'm meant to be doing with my time and my life in a way to make money? And it's been very stressful. And it's bled into these other passion projects that I've had because it's made me feel like I had something to prove. It's made me feel as though I needed to figure it out really quickly rather than letting it evolve the way it was intended so that I could make money doing something else because I felt so out of alignment with doing hair. It's been a doozy, let me tell you. But things have evolved in the way and in the time that they were meant to. So here we are, fast forward into November, and my salon is being built, added onto my home, as well as an office. So I'm going to be able to reevaluate the ways in which I want to run my business. And so, yeah, was it jarring when I got that news in August? Absolutely. But was that God's way of realigning me to where it is that I am truly meant to be? Yeah. Yeah. It's going to save me so much time and so much energy. And it's also here at my home, but with a boundary. It's not like people are directly in my home. People aren't directly in my house, they are adjacent to it. And it has reignited. This rebrand has reignited my passion for doing hair. Well, why is that? Because I allowed it to. Because I allowed it to show me the ways in which it needed to change. Was I still scared? Yeah. Have I still had doubts? Absolutely. But I am no longer allowing them to control the narrative. I decided that I wanted to transition my salon to be a holistic space. And holistic is whole body wellness. That is whole body wellness. And in this case, beauty, because that's the way that I live my life. That's the way that I raise my daughters. That's the way that I value beauty in this world. And so being able to do that in this new way, but incorporating all of these people that have supported me in this business for all of these years is so exciting. And again, it's allowed me to be able to just find my passion again, because I'm so excited to start doing hair in this new space. I'm so excited to start using these new clean product lines that aren't adding to the toxic exposure that we experience every single day, specifically as women. For these new products and these new services that I'm going to be able to offer people to be able to take better care of their scalp health and their hair health, and as well as like their self-care and mental health and the way that they show love for each other. I want this to be a luxurious experience for people that is also, for lived in color, that's low tox and also not going to be high maintenance, because who has time for that? Who has time for that? And I don't know. I'm just so excited. I'm so excited that I didn't give up on myself, that I didn't give up on this business, and that I found a way to be able to reintegrate and realign my passion and my purpose all together, you know, and bring it into this beautiful package that I hope people come into this space and feel loved and seen and heard and just like cozy and warm and leave feeling beautiful and empowered. Even men, okay? Even men. And so, as this transition continues to happen, as this change continues to unfold and this rebrand gets launched into the world, I mean, I've already announced my name and things like that, but I'm so excited to share like the new services and the new products and the new color line and learn more about it myself, because, you know, it's amazing what continuing education can do for an art that, again, I began learning when I was 7. Do you know how many different versions of myself I have been since I was 17? Crazy. Become a mother, double divorcee, restarted my life multiple times, and navigated all of these experiences, all while being behind the chair. All while being behind the chair. And so I'm just so excited to be able to take all of these things that I've learned, astrology, holistic health, and beauty, and be able to to be of service again with quality and purpose, and know and trust that the people that value what I do and the things that I offer to them are going to be attracted to that. It's going to magnetize so significantly. And you know what I already feel about that little baby tree? She's already growing. She's already expanding even more, and she's ready to flourish. And even though I want to like skip 7 steps and be there already, I know and I trust that the timing is happening in the way in which it was meant to. So, for all of my clients that are listening that have hung around, thank you. Thank you for being here and supporting my business and supporting my life and opening your arms to every single version of me that you have experienced. And thank you for coming along on this ride as things change and evolve and just get really, really exciting. And like I said, I could go on and on and on about it forever because I'm excited. I'm excited. And I haven't felt that way about my business in a while. And so I'm just really, really grateful to feel that again. And it is a testament to allowing ourselves to realign what we do with what we value continuously, especially after major life changes. And so if you find yourself in a situation or in a place, whether it's in a relationship or it is in your work or within your friend group or in the way you parent, the way that you take care of yourself, whatever it is, this is a perfect time. This is a perfect time, and just start reevaluating it. Start reevaluating it. Take some notes, write some things down that like you wish and desire to come true in your life. Get quiet and listen. Get down into your body and listen to what it is that your truth is trying to tell you, because it will. If you ask the question, you will receive the answer. It just may not be the one that you think you should. Okay? So get out of your own way. Get out of your own way, because when we get out of our own way, it can really lead us to where it is that we are meant to be. I'm experiencing that firsthand in my life, and I'm excited to be able to see how it continues to evolve. And, you know, even when it's scary, even when it's uncertain, this is a perfect time. This is a perfect space and time to kind of slow down. Don't make any rash or impulsive decisions. think some things through, reevaluate, review, so that we can reintegrate and realign with who it is that we desire to be, what we desire to create, and the truth of who we are. Unearth some of those things that are holding you back. Okay? You got it? And if you need any support, astrologically, energetically, or holistically, I'm your girl. Reach out, give me a follow on Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok at Turn the Paige Podcast, because things are going to be even changing and evolving with the content that I create, which cannot wait. And come say hi. Come say hi. I would love to communicate with you about what it is that you may be going through. And I'm just so grateful. I'm so grateful to be here. I'm so grateful to have you here. And until next week, I'll see you then, guys. Bye.